Hey, you guys, and welcome. First and foremost, I want to thank all of my subscribers and anybody who is new here that may be listening. Welcome. Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. It's an exchange. You guys, I used to not do that either. And I think I'll make a video right after why it's so important to like and subscribe to people. But yeah, now I do because it's an energetic exchange. And the more you give off that, the more you receive it. So go ahead and like and subscribe, especially if you're a content creator yourself, so that you can, bring that energy back to you. With that being said, a lot of times we see things about a karmic partner, this and that, and it usually comes around the time that we want to level up in life. You start hearing that there's these energies and entities and even people out there that are trying to hold you back. But God was talking to me. He said, Alicia, there's no such thing. It's you. It's always you. Your masculine, your feminine energy that's inside of you that is really drawing whatever outside thing to you. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, and how you live, once you get over this and you come into harmony, you can live a life based off of faith, or you can live a life based off of fear, but you can't do both of them at the same time. So first and foremost, the whole karmic partner thing, everybody in your life is a mirror. They're all here to help you learn. So, I mean, if you want to listen to the terms of karma, it's just basically what you get back from what you give off, what comes back to you. So when you are like me, I have a really big faith thing that I'm doing right now that God doesn't want me to share the particulars of, but it looks like there are giants in front of me. The feminine side of me says, it's okay. God's here. Woo-hoo! He's told me things. I know stuff. I'm going to be perfectly fine. But then there's that masculine side of me that wants to be in control and wants to dictate and wants to know and wants to be strong and courageous. And I'm looking at something that says I can't do either of that. So no, fear. And he took me back to the story of going into the promised land. And there are some of us out there listening, you feel like that. And I know there's somebody who's going to listen to this and be like, what? It's me too. Right. You really heavily know that you are almost finished with this whole faith walk. And on the other side of this message is you going into the promised land. What's keeping you out is that God sent 12 spies. 10 of them came back and were like, giants, we can't do it. And guess what? God said, okay, I'm upset. Like with Drake, I'm upset. And I have done all these things and you've seen all these miracles and you get to this point where you actually see the promise and then say, no, okay, fine. Go ahead and wander the wilderness. And a lot of us, we have parents who have lived a life based off of fear and stress and I don't have any courage, forget about my faith. And they have been wandering their entire lifetimes. No legacy, nothing built. God didn't send you here to do that. He sent you here to rise and elevate and become kings and queens and to conquer lands and stuff like that. And you have a lot of people around you who barely want to go outside. Just because they're afraid and they're restricted by their own thoughts of lack and things like that. That's masculine energy. Your feminine sees beauty in everything, loves the trees and the butterflies, wants to go and see and show and expand. Your masculine says, I need to be able to subdue. And if I can't subdue, I can't do anything. And so God was letting me know that it wasn't some outside energy that was blocking me. It was getting that masculine energy into the correct masculine position. My feminine energy of intuition, of faith had to take over, and that I had to let peace prevail, because that's why it says, you'll be peace to him. To a man, he can remain calm under certain circumstances, but women bring peace. And so God was letting me know that in this situation, I needed to bring peace to that masculine energy so that it would calm down and stop trying to be so much in control. I basically had to bring myself back into balance. Now, the thing is, ladies, it's hard for us to do that because a lot of us, we have no idea. I had to learn how to be a woman too. I'm not going to lie to you because I didn't really have a great example of that, but I certainly had and I do mean no examples of masculine energy. So I didn't know what good leadership looked like. I didn't know what courage looked like, what bravery looked like, what being sure looked like. And so I had to grow into all those characteristics. And today I told myself, I'm courageous, I'm strong, I'm sure, God's got this. And it was the same thing that my feminine was saying, is that I'm faithful. I am loved. God has told me some things. He's got this. We're going. And so that masculine of I've got this and the feminine of we've got this finally came together to respect that God has got this and we're both able to move forward. So yeah, it's never about some outside thing. Even when it comes to like the twin flame relationship, which isn't necessarily biblical, even though I firmly believe that God has a counterpart that he has designed 100% for you. You're not waiting on that other person to come into union. You're waiting on you to come into union with you, which means that both the masculine and the feminine energies inside of you listen to God. You're going to need courage from the man and you're going to need peace from the woman to be able to continue to do this. But both of those energies have to be equal inside of you first. And once they are, then you attract that equality in somebody else. So for me, I am well aware that the end of this chaos is soon. it's a very soon. And instead of looking at this deadline with absolute dread, oh my God, what is going on? What's happening? I can actually go and celebrate and be thankful that God has brought it to me. Because I know that great things are on the other side of this. I'm looking at the promised land. So are you. If you're watching this video, you're looking at your promised land. Of course, it's surrounded by giants, chaos, crazy. But you also have God who told you were going there. So get on board, baby. You're going. So yeah, definitely the only person that's blocking you from you and your past being linked to scarcity and fear. And you have to be mindful that you can only get the result that fear brings or faith. You can't do both at the same time. Faith is what lets you into the promised land so that you can have abundance, build legacies, subdue, cultivate, do all the stuff that God wants you to do. Fear keeps you out in the wilderness for as long as you want to stay there. They tell you that the opposite of faith isn't doubt, it's fear. It's true, because fear is what keeps you from moving forward, and faith is what pushes you forward because you know you have the Lord with you. So yeah, you guys, I'm right along there with you. I'm definitely facing some giants. And I know that even as I go into the promised land, they will still linger because they didn't get rid of all their giants at one time either. You know, it's just there will be more giants, but there will also be more faith to use to fuel me. And I pray that it's the same way for you. So yeah, you guys got to choose faith over fear. Know that it's not some outside thing that's keeping you from where you want to go or who you want to be, that it is you. And it's either one of those, energies that are kind of out of balance most of the time. It's the masculine energy just isn't trusting, even though the feminine energy is calm and at peace. That masculine energy just hadn't gotten on board with that. And the moment that you do, you end up in this union. And you've lived the life that being fragmented gives you. What you want now is to be united and start attracting other, sources of unity. And that's kind of like the in-between state for so many of us, that we've left being fragmented and attracting broken pieces, but we haven't quite unified to be able to attract what unity brings. And so for me today, I had to declare that I am 100% unified within myself, and I will be attracting what unity brings, whether that is a new dynamic from a relationship, more resources, a different place to live. I'm no longer attracting brokenness, because that's not what's happening within me. I'm no longer attracting something that needs to be filled, because I am fulfilled. Have a blessed day, you guys.